All right, guys, we got a very special guest with us here. We have Sean Higgs. How we doing, Sean? Good to see you, man.
Pretty good. Thanks for having me. Good to haven't chatted on the video in a while. Good to be here to say hello. We got end of the bowl season. It's here. You got 2022. Tomorrow. Crazy. We'll see everybody next year. Apparently.
I know what a mess it's been, right? Cancellations all over the place. We got opt-outs. We got
Well,
just a mess.
We'll be jumping right into that Gator Bowl.
I was gonna say we'll kick it off with that, right? We got Texas A&M opting out of the Gator Bowl. Rutgers taking their spot. I don't have much to say on this game other than how is. I'll just give you these stats. Wake Forest is throwing the ball 8.3 yards per pass. Rutgers gives up 8.3 yards per pass. Have they even practiced? Take it over, Sean.
Let's talk about A&M for a second. They opted out because they had a backup quarterback. A bunch of guys opt out for them, all their star players, and they're like, you know what? Let's throw up the COVID. You know what? I'm in Tech. I moved to Texas. That's not affecting us down here. That's not shutting down anything down here. Schools are open. You didn't want to play. That's what it comes down to, and that's a shame. Some of these schools doing that. And here comes Rutgers, who hasn't played in a month. Last time they played November, I think 27th was their last game, and they were getting beat up. Yeah, it was the 27th, and Maryland was rolling them 40-16. How? And this is a square play. I'm sure everybody's going to bet Wake Forest. It was at 13. If that's 16, why wouldn't it be? They put up 41 points a game. Rutgers gets a call last week. Hey, we're gonna play in a bowl game. They're home for school. They're home. They're out. Guys we're transferring. We're leaving. We're not playing. We're on vacation. What are they doing this week to get ready for this game? And I'll tell you what they did. They did absolutely nothing. It was Christmas. You think they're there on Christmas?
Yeah. That's not right.
This is going to be a train wreck of a game. Wake Forest is going to put up 60 points here. The defense isn't good, but let's be honest. Wake is going to come out and be like, whatever. We're here to play. We're ready to play. A&M would have been great. Who cares? It's Rutgers. Let's go embarrass somebody because they had a nice year, and their coach isn't going to let them slip. That guy's – I like their coach. I like Wake Forest. I think really they'll put up 55 easy. And how's Rutgers scoring? How's scoring? 0 points at Penn State, 20 at Illinois, 7 in Northwestern, 13 Michigan, 17 Syracuse. No. And that's a full season of practice. That's like, it's football season, let's go. That's what they're putting up when they're ready to go. Right. Listen, as a Rutgers, I'm a New Jersey guy, born and raised there, 47 years. I want them to do good. This is going to be just a train wreck of a game. Start your day, 11 a.m. Rutgers. The jokes will be like, did Rutgers wake up? Did they not have a game today? Because it's going to be 21-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, very possibly could. And once you get in the mindset of the season's over, you got Christmas vacation coming up here. Yeah. You got to really wonder what kind of fight they're going to put out. You also have to think of Wake Forest's last game in the ACC championship, the egg that they put up there. They really shit the bed, especially quarterback.
21, not a good showing.
Not a good showing. So you would think they'd come out and try to end the season on a good note. So,
yeah. I'm telling you, 50 plus here. Team total over. Total 62. I'm not going to be shocked if Wake Forest gets to – look at the scores of these Wake Forest games. They put up points.
Yeah.
What are we doing here with Wake Forest? They put up 41 – 48-27 they lost, 45, 55, 45, 70, 40, 37, 37. And again, those are against teams who are playing every week, practicing every week. And what are they doing against this team today?
Right. I think we're on the same side leaning here towards Wake. That's the only way you can lean in this one.
I'd love to be like, we're going to go Rutgers. How do you make a play for Rutgers? Like Wake Forest could be I don't want to play today. They're going to come out. They're not. No way. That would set their program back years if they came out and laid an egg to a team that hasn't played in a month. Yeah. Over a month.
It'd be one thing if they were going up against a decent team, but Rutgers averaged 4.5 yards per play on offense.
They're 5-7. Listen, I had the over 4 games for them to go over total. I thought, you know what, they're improved. I like the coach down the road. Good team. Yeah. This is just.
It's a mess.
Wake's they have to, just on their recruiting and the coach, they got to come out here and really destroy this team.
Definitely. Well, we'll move on here with a little more important game. I think both of these teams have been practicing. We'll get into the Cotton Bowl and Cincinnati and Alabama. We'll do the first playoff game here. Bama's getting 91% of the money, but the line's kind of stayed right at 13.5 basically the whole time. It's gone up to 14, back to 13.5. Strength of schedule, obviously you have Bama with the better strength of schedule here. Success rate on offense, you're looking at the 21st best offense with Bama and 22nd on defense. Cincinnati's success rate is 14th on offense and 10th on defense. In my opinion, this game's going to be won through the air, and Bama's going to be without one of their best receivers. Outside Menchie, who's the receiver that's going to be out, Jameson Williams is the only other receiver on Alabama that has gained over 333 receiving yards this season. So what are your thoughts here, Sean?
Now, normally I'm an early bowl guy. I came in out of the gate. The lines came up. I had like 21 games right off the bat. Boom, firing away. This is a game I did not play on, believe it or not. I looked at this. I'm like, man, let's go. And I'll say it. That's okay. I'm on doing this long time. Sites, doing videos, 15 years. And I look at that. I see 13.5. Wow, you got to bet Bama, right? No way. 14 points. They should get it done. It's Cincinnati. It's smaller school, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Part of me wants to take Cincinnati here. And I still sort of want to take Cincy. Because as much as Alabama, big bad SEC, well, I've seen the SEC lose, I think, every game so far in the preseason, right? Or the postseason, whatever we call this, bowl time. I mean, Cincinnati's going to come with a defense, right? I mean, okay, they're not Notre Dame, but we see Notre Dame get trucked in bigger bowls like this. But Notre Dame's still a pretty decent program. This is for me. I'm for a sidewise. I'm torn because 13.5. I want to take Cincy because I think they're begging to take Alabama because they just got to win by 14, right? It's only 14. It's 2 scores. How can they win? It's 6. They got to win by a touchdown. And the last time we saw Bama, they were dropping 41 on Georgia, who hadn't given them more than 17 in the game. And you're like, wow, can Alabama just turn it on?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Do they turn on? Has it been a smokescreen all year when they're in these tight games, not really blowing teams out? Because Saban's like, who cares about the point spread? Maybe it's all been like, look at this. Now we're going to come out here. It's going to be 55-20, and they just roll Alabama. Alabama rolls. You're thinking to myself, oh my goodness, is this? Were they playing possum the entire season?
Yeah.
And for the people on the show, I want to lean Cincy. I do. I just can't. I didn't bet it. I don't think I'm going to bet this game. If I lean anything here, I might go under. I think Cincy's going to try to grind it out. They score, yes, but I just can't see them trying to chuck it all over the place and run it. I think they want to milk clock, keep Bama off the field, just grind away. That's what kind of team they are. Cincy's a grinder team. It's not some flashy put up 55. We're talking about Wake Forest. This ain't a 55 a game team. They play defense. So I would maybe lean Cincy in the under, but I didn't bet it. I don't think I'm going to bet it here, but that's my initial thoughts on this. And so their initial from 2 weeks ago's line, they haven't changed. I just have not seen one thing to be like, I got to put my money on it. And that's on a whole other flip side, folks. Just because it's a playoff game, you don't have to bet it if you don't like it. We can wait.
Right.
See what somebody jumps out. It's 14-0 early. Maybe you want to do a little in game. Find something there. The coin flip at the top here, I can't do it to pick a side. I'm leaning dog on the under, but I had not bet it.
Yeah. And you got to like Cincinnati's defense here. You got to like both defenses, but you got to factor in the strength of schedule. But speaking of the passing game, Bama's been chucking the ball around 348 yards per game, and they're going up against the Cincinnati pass defense that only gives up 168 through the air. So that's probably the matchup of the game. How that's going to determine, the final score will be how Cincinnati can take care of the Alabama pass offense. PFF has Cincinnati the third best defensive coverage against receivers. And a couple of trends here. Bearcats are 5-0 ATS in their last 5 games as a dog, 6-0 ATS versus a team with a winning record, 5-1 ATS in their last 6 non-conference games. On the other side, Crimson Tide are 4-1 ATS in their last 5 non-conference and 5-2 in their last 7 neutral site games. So it'll be fun to watch.
It's going to be – everybody wants to see this game, right? We've all been talking about Cincinnati getting a shot here. We didn't get it with, UCF, whatever case would be. So This is one of those spots. Man, you look at the numbers for Alabama and both Cincy. Like who's Cincy played? You're going to say Notre Dame and maybe Houston are the two best teams they've played on the year, right? And they took care of business. They did what they had to do. I just, the numbers here for Alabama. You mentioned their offense because you go through their scores, you see them put up 40 here, 30 here, 40 here. But again, okay, that's SEC teams. But are those teams, would they beat Cincy? I don't know. I think Cincy could have beat some of these teams that Alabama beat.
Yeah, and you mentioned Alabama's offense, and it's typically their rushing game, right?
Yeah,
they only average 4.1 yards per rush this season, and that's against defenses that are giving up four yards per rush. So they're usually the team that spits out these running backs each year, and that's not the case this year. It's more in the passing game. So we'll see what happens here. So we'll get it on to the next game here. I guess we'll just get it right into the looks like you froze there, Sean. You still with us? Let's see if Sean can come back. A little bit of a break here. Here he comes back on.
Sorry about that. Sometimes
that's all right. I'll remove frozen. Oh shit!
Get rid of frozen me and bring back regular me. I don't know. It happens sometimes. I don't know if that's on this. Well, what are we going to do?
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, again, so we're just about Alabama running over people. Like, what? Again, are they playing possum? We saw them. Who's showing up? Is it the team that struggled against LSU? They struggled against Florida, lost to A&M, but then they come out and just destroy Georgia. I don't know how. I can't. Folks, I tell you the truth here. I can't tell you this is a game. I have zero clue when it's going to happen because Alabama's been Jekyll and Hyde all year, and it's scary to bet against Saban, and it's 13.5 looks low enough where it's just 2 touchdowns, and 42-24 looks like a win for them. I don't know. Good game, at least.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It'll be a fun one to watch, I think.
Yeah.
As well, the next one. The next one's probably the definitely
I like this game. Yeah.
This will be the game of the day. The Orange Bowl, Georgia, Michigan. Should be a slower pace game here. I have Georgia with a tempo of 109th in the nation, Michigan at 89th in the nation. Both defenses are stout. Limit the big plays, rank 3rd and 4th in the nation in allowing plays of over 30 yards or more. Should be an old school run first, play action type ball game. Who will win the running game? Both teams run it about 60% of the time, and both run it at about 5.3 yards per rush. So what do you think here, Sean, about this?
I grabbed Michigan out of the door. I got them at +9. I got a +8.5, and I got an over 44 in this game. I think Michigan's going to win this one. And again, I sometimes go off the rails of my thinking here. I think for Harbaugh, this is a big reason for me taking him. This is a must-win game for this guy. As much as he had to win that Big Ten championship versus lesser competition, wasn't who we wanted to face, but they went in there, they blew the doors off in that game. Huge win for them, 41-7, whatever it was. This game, just as important, just for his whole legacy, everything he's got going on there. He has not been here. I think this team, they've been overlooked all season long. Like, even as these playoff rankings came out, they were like an afterthought, which is, all right, I get it. He hadn't really beat a good team, and that's the whole thing, probably why we're looking at getting 7-8 points here with them still now 7.5, because he's failed against good teams. But Georgia, and I love Georgia. I said back in August, I told people, I said, Georgia future championship ticket, let's go. The defense is good, but are they that good against future NFL players? Because you saw what Alabama did to them. In Michigan, they might not say Alabama, but you know what? The kids who go to those schools, they end up right where the Alabama kids go. This is NFL talent, just as good as the Georgia one. And offensively, they put up points. I mean, 42, 42, 59, 29, 30. They're going to put up points. even again, Penn State on the road was probably their toughest game. And, Penn State defense was pretty good this year. Maybe not Georgia-esque, but for me, as much as I love Georgia, I like Kirby Smart. I think their quarterback situation remains to be seen. We saw when they got pushed up against it, they couldn't respond. And honestly, I bet Michigan early. I think Michigan jumps out early here. I think Georgia's going to fold up. They're going to be like, wow, what this season is all for now. We opened the season, big win over Clemson, who we saw them all year, kind of struggled a little bit getting their offense going. So I think Michigan comes out, scores early. That Georgia defense is going to be like, you know what? We aren't what we were for the other 11 weeks out of the year. Because the last two games we played against NFL competition, Alabama rolled us, and oh my God, here comes Michigan. Because they can throw the ball, Michigan. People overlook it. They threw the ball against Michigan State. They threw it in a championship game. They throw. They put up points. I'm Michigan. Take the points. Money line. I'm Michigan all day here. 44 over. This is going to be a game into the 30s here. It's going to be 34-ish, 27. I think it's going to be high scoring.
Yeah, and you mentioned that passing game. You wonder if Alabama exposed some weaknesses here on the defensive side of Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave up 421 yards. So,
I mean, it's easy to shut down things when you know it's coming, right? Because Georgia gets up and all of a sudden it's like, all right, we got to abandon the run. Listen, Michigan's not going to get away from what they do. You play against good top 10 perennial teams or a good head coach. And again, he's lost against big school. He's 1-11, whatever he is, 1-10. Whatever the number is, he's against ranked team. That's fine, but he's still in kind of close kind of games. He might lose. He's been here. And for him, I just think this is, and again, I could be totally wrong on my hardball thinking here, but for me, it's what do we see in that other game? This isn't a team where you're going to just beat up and are going to fold up in their thing. No. This isn't your ACC coastal teams. You're not playing, Pitt or Virginia or no knock on those teams. This is not that kind of program. These are not those kind of players. These guys are like, I'm going to the NFL, baby. We'll see you there. We're going to –
right.
And again, the passing game is there for this team. They throw the ball, Michigan. I mean, the numbers, not a huge offensive team. They throw it, though. We saw it against Alabama, as you said. They exposed some stuff throwing the ball around. Michigan's going to be like, you know what? Let's switch it up here. Outright winner for me. I'm high on Michigan here.
There you go. Lay the money line.
Yeah, I think so. Listen, if you're going to take – and I say it's
very easily good, yeah.
And I'll go this across the board. That would be college hoops or NFL. If you're taking a sub-touchdown dog or right around that, and you're taking the points, okay, why not put a little money line action in? Like you're taking a 3-point dog. What, you think you're going to lose by 2? Like, yeah, lose by 2. Who thinks that way? If you're within even 10 points, you're one score and you're there. That's it's 10. You get a touchdown. You're literally a turnover, a turnover, downs, forced stop, whatever, punt away from pulling an outright win.
Right. Yeah. Don't put
I'm pumped up for Michigan. I'm excited.
Maybe a quarter.
I can't wait for Michigan to come in and win. Saturday, I'll be so happy. I'll be like, I told everybody Michigan outright.
You heard it here. The other thing is Michigan doesn't turn the ball over as much. I mean, they've only turned it over on offense 11 times this season, which is 13th in the nation. Yeah. Surprisingly, with Georgia's great defense, they have a 0 turnover margin, which is 63rd in the nation. So Georgia does turn it over on offense.
That's pretty shocking considering and that's a team that's going to want to run and do stuff like that.
It is.
I'm like,
yeah, I found that shocking too. So, that's something to look at. Couple trends. We have Bulldogs at 6-2 ATS in their last 8 bowl games, 10-4 ATS in their last 14 neutral site as a favorite. 5-2 ATS in their last 7 non-conference games, 11-5 ATS in their last 16 neutral site games overall. Wolverines 5-0 ATS in their last 5 games overall. 4-1 ATS in their last 5 non-conference games. So some extra trends there for you.
I mean, you throw out that loss to Michigan State, and I had Michigan that game. You're up 10 in the third quarter. You can't put it away. I mean, this team literally could have been, undefeated. They could have had an undefeated season. They were a blown, and you're on the road against a rival. I guess you're going to have a letdown. You're up 10. People, again, selling Michigan short on this year. Undefeated, 10-point, all right, you blew the game. I get it. That's, if you're not going to give Georgia a pass for losing a tough one to Alabama, then if you're going to say, well, it was Alabama and stuff, then you got to say to Michigan, you know what? All right, 10-point lead on the road. The home team came back, end up losing by a field goal or whatever the case may be. People overlook it, and I don't understand. I mean, these last few weeks, if you've seen anything out of Michigan, this is a talented team. I don't know. I'm trying to sell you on Michigan, people. And this is a guy who bet Georgia. I got a Georgia national championship ticket. I'm not that I'm not high on the Bulldogs, but Michigan has been overlooked the entire season, I think.
I tend to agree with you there. We'll move on here, Sean. We got let me just move my screen over a little bit here. We have the Rose Bowl. Let's talk about the Rose Bowl here. So we got some opt-outs here. We got some closing line value. I actually took this game when it was 6.5. I wish I would have taken it earlier, but I got Utah at 6.5. That was before Ohio State's wide receivers, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, opted out. They also have their best D lineman and sack leader, Haskell Garrett, opting out of this game. Utah has nobody opting out. This is one of those games that you got a team who is highly motivated going against a team that wanted to be in the playoff and probably doesn't give a shit. That's my opinion. What's your take?
I'm right with, so you got Ohio State. Now I had Clemson the other night. I'm like, you know what? As much as it's the Cheez-It Bowl for a team that's been in national championship games, I looked at it as for their coach, and they really had some building to do. The offense had struggled. I thought, you know what? I'm going on the coach and trying to get this offense still going and building into next year with extra practices. But in this case with Ohio State, okay, it's still the Rose Bowl or whatever the case may be. I don't think it matters to them. It's like you don't have a coach like Dabo who's been there for years and you're in championship games. This team was, Ohio State last year, weren't they in the championship game last year? Right? You played 6 games last year and got into the championship game, which I didn't think you belonged there anyway. Right. And now you're here and, okay, I get it. You're a good program like Clemson. Guys opt out. That's right. You got another 4-star recruit going in there. But here, 7 down to 4, and that was right out of the gate. People must have known because that line was 7, and next thing you know, it's at 6, and now it's at 4 now. So I don't know, though. As much as Utah, I had them to win the Pac-12. I like the Utah team. But it's 4.5. I don't know if they're trying to grab you. I get it's a lot of opt-outs. I know everybody's there for Utah. Winningham's a great one. And from what I've heard, he might be retiring, so they might want to send him out on a high note from Utah. So for me, it'd be like a Utah money line play for me here. And again, I haven't bet this one because I miss a good number, and I'm like, now you're just riding the wave in, like it keeps coming down. If I do anything on this one tomorrow, it's going to be Utah. Just throw a little money line out there, thinking, hey, they win one for the Gipper on his way out. Because Ohio State, I think, as you said, zero motivation from the playoffs to this, and guys out. I don't know. It's just a different. All games are different. All teams are different. The feel for me from them to Clemson, 2 different things based on their seasons, where one team kind of struggled for the year getting the wheels going, even though they still end up with 10 wins or whatever that Clemson did. And Ohio State was kind of rolling, thinking, here we go again. We're playoffs. We're Ohio State. I don't know. I just don't see it. And Utah, again, Pac-12 champs. I think the coach has been there, 17 years. He might – I don't know if the rumors are true. I had him big in the Pac-12 championship game because I heard that. He had never won, and they wanted to win one for him because they thought he might be hanging it up or whatever. So that's the thing we might hear about after the game. Maybe it's lies. I don't know. I gotta lean Utah, though. So give me some money line Utah here. Yeah,
and you got those 2 guys on the team that were killed. Was that before the season, I think?
Oh, for Utah. Wow.
For Utah, maybe that's extra motivation. I think Haskell Garrett on the defensive side is probably the biggest opt-out. For Ohio State, they still have their quarterback, their stud running back in Henderson, and their top receiver is actually can't come up with his name, but
yeah, I don't know that guy. There's some kids going to the NFL. They had 3 good receivers, but yeah, 2 of them are out. You're in off of losing your championship game. The other team I know is going to be all pumped up, like, hey, we're playing Ohio State. This Rose Bowl for us. This is good for us. Ohio State's got to be like, we're here.
Yeah, it's 2 contrasting tempos Ohio State's 42nd in the league, and Utah's 85th. So they try to slow it down a little bit.
But that's also
Utah State is second in offensive passing play success rate. Utah is did I say Utah? Ohio State is second in offensive passing success rate, and Utah's 18th. So we'll see if these younger guys can step in for Wilson and Olave, and they probably can.
Couple yards passing, you know. I mean, you don't know what kind of chemistry they're going to have with the quarterback. A lot of this is like, get to your spot, I'm throwing it, you know, be there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Timing's big, right? So we'll see what happens there. Utah, on the other hand, too, and we'll bring up the opt-out of Haskell Garrett again. Utah is second in the nation in sack margin. Offensive line has only given up 12 sacks all season for Utah. So without their leading sacker, with Haskell Garrett, we'll see what happens there. But they have a stout offensive line. And
so we got Olive's out, and who's the other one? Wilson?
Olave and Wilson. There are a couple others that I didn't mention.
25 touchdowns and 2,000 yards receiving.
Yeah. Yeah, and to think they weren't the best.
He wasn't even the
best receiver, but the highest yard gainer.
That's crazy.
So
it's crazy.
We'll see. We'll see how much that timing matters in this game.
That's still 2,000 yards. I mean, the other two kids coming in, I guess Henderson and Rucker were the next guys. I'm just looking at the roster here. They got the most reps, but it's still a big loss. I mean, I know
it's a huge loss. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got a month. You got a month to get them in shape. You know.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. These coaches probably know ahead of time who's gonna, guy's gonna mention I'm not playing in this game. Way ahead of time before game day or a week before. So it's not like the kids haven't been practicing for ahead of when the public hears about these games. So
right.
Or the opt-outs, I should say, not the games. But
yeah.
Again, this is kind of like this is like the Bama game, man. This is one of those games where it's like, Utah's like the outsider kind of coming in here, right? It's we make fun of Pac-12 and college hoops, college football. It's like you eat yourselves and you knock yourselves out of any kind of playoff competitions with these wacky Friday night games. And, so but I like Utah to be hungry here. I'm going to do a little money line probably here on Saturday morning. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see Saturday how this line moves. We'll see tomorrow. If it keeps coming down, you got to be like, you know what? Again, though, at that point, you say, you know what? I got to take a fly on Ohio State because they still got a quarterback and they got a top receiver there. Stop them. Listen, we've seen one receiver have crazy bowl games, right? I mean, we see whoever that top tight end or wide receiver, slot guy, whoever, we've seen them in bowl games go off for 200 yards. We've seen this before all over. Right? Somebody's got 180 yards catching, receiving, 11 catches, 3 touchdowns. So this comes down another point or two. And we're talking 2, 3. I might actually lean Ohio State. All right, the talent is a little less, but I don't know, because that Stroud could come out and be like, all right, let me show you how good I am.
Yeah. Well, the way that they recruit, you would think they're going to be putting out some healthy talent there.
Right.
So Utah, a couple trends on this one too. I have Utah 5-1 ATS versus a team with a winning record, 4-1 ATS in their last 5 bowl games as a dog, 6-2 ATS in their last 8 games versus Big Ten, 47-22-2 ATS in their last 71 games as an underdog. The Buckeyes are 12-3-1 ATS versus in their last 16 versus the Pac-12. 6-2 ATS in their last 8 bowl games and 1-4 ATS in their last 5 neutral site games. So there we have it. The Rose Bowl, I think we're both leaning Utah in this one. Yeah. But again, another fun one. And then to end it here, Sean, you wanted to bring up some college basketball. You had a game that you wanted to touch base on.
Yeah, so again, we got Kentucky is playing a little high point. It's supposed to play. I think this line should probably be on the 22, 23 mark with Kentucky. I'm going to lean a little high point. I took him the other day against Michigan State. Tubby Smith is an old UK coach. I do not see them run. And this is, again, sometimes I think off the grid with my coaching and ways to look at different ways to look at games to bet them. As an ex-UK guy, brought a championship there, I don't see them like crushing this guy by like 30 points and really making him look bad. So I'm going to see if I can get like 23, 24 points here with High Point and Tubby. I'm going to look to a little dog here in Rupp against UK. So that's a little doggy I'm looking at here Friday. We'll see what the line is. 22 to 24-ish in there. And anything less than that, though, I'm like, because 20s, you can get to 20 pretty easy. Kentucky's still a pretty decent team, but we get a little bucket or two more than that. Let's go High Point, take it there. I don't think they'll embarrass an old coaching legend there. He's going to get a nice standing ovation there. It's New Year's Eve again. Who knows how many kids are showing up? These are college kids. I don't know. I mean, I was 20, 21, and I don't know. College, I was working as a waiter on a Friday night in a restaurant on New Year's Eve trying to make some money. But most kids are probably out trying to get hammered, having a good time.
They're out pregame.
Not sure how many people are in there cheering them on, but give me Tubby and a plus maybe 23 here against Kentucky.
And they were beating Michigan State at halftime.
Yeah.
Right?
I was getting 23 and a half, and I hung on for a win there. I was like, all right, High Point.
Yeah, I like that. Good stuff, Sean. Well, thanks again for being on with me, man. I really appreciate it. And
you got it.
It's awesome stuff for our viewers here. Tell us a little more about where we can find you. I know you're on pretty much every betting website there is. So, but let everybody know where they can find you and what's coming up here for you.
Yeah. Again, a lot of sites. Real_Higgs on Twitter. You can find me. I mean, wherever. I mean, sometimes I post like free picks from different sites. I'm not gonna. You can find me. I'm not advertising one more than anybody else. I do a live show daily. Midday money. I come in, give a bunch of picks out on a show across the board. And much like this, I tell you how I feel. If I like it, I don't like it. I'm not coming in to be fake about things and guaranteeing locks and we're going to do this. No, that's not how I roll. I get a feel for it. I got you. Otherwise, it is what it is. But yeah, give me a follow. I share some information. It is what it is out here. A lot of people in the atmosphere doing what we do here. But again, long time sites. It's 15, 16 years for me on them. I'm an old man.
Well, you still look good, man. You still got it.
I said something in the site the other day. Somebody said something. I said, well, how old do you think I am? Because there was like some young, you click on the messages in the sites, people look young, 20s. Someone said I look like I was 37. I'm like, oh, man, I could tell my wife somebody thought I was 37.
Run that fire. Yeah.
I'm 50, but I felt good. They said I was low 40s. I was excited. It's because I shaved the head. You shave the head, you got no grays.
What it is. Awesome, man. Well, thanks again. Good having you. And we'll talk to you soon, man.
Have a good one. Good luck, everybody.